The Big Voice. KWTN 100.9 FM. Nebraska. The official radio station of the Winnebago Tribe.
KWTN 100.9 FM. Welcome everybody to a beautiful Tuesday. It is a little dreary out there, but nonetheless here we have a lot to talk about, and we'd like to welcome in Bethani Redhorn, our Win editor and co-host of Winnebago Talks. How you feeling?
Feeling lovely.
Feeling lovely as we are getting ready for Halloween week.
A lot of events taking place this week and lots to talk about.
We have lots to talk about here, and one of the things that we invited is Oyate Means and also the Winnebago Tribal Law Enforcement Program, Jeremiah, that's going to be talking. We put out a post, a public service announcement the other day as communications, and it's coming from the director of the child support. So we'll be talking about that here a little bit, but let us know what else we're going to get into here today for Winnebago Talks.
Yeah, so we'll also have some win updates from the Winnebago Indian News. We'll also have another special guest joining us from Project Upstream and the Nebraska Coalition.
Yeah, they have an event coming up in Omaha, some basketball players and stuff, but they have some celebrities coming to town. Celestina is going to be joining us as well.
Nebraska Urban Indian Health Coalition.
Right.
So that'll be coming up, and then we'll also have the joke of the day, the rant of the day.
And just go from there.
Yeah.
All righty. So with that being said, I know these guys are pretty busy. Last time we had a conversation with law enforcement, they had a call right in the middle of the show. So duty calls. So we want to make sure we capture this as much as possible, but we're going to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. And we'll start over here with Oyate. Go for it.
Hello, I'm Oyate Means. I'm happy to be here. I am the Child Support Program Director, and I've been the director for 8 years.
Thank you, Oyate, for joining us here on Winnebago Talks. And we also have, go ahead and give us your official title and introduction. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Garan. My name is Jeremiah Lone Wolf. I'm the current chief of police for the Winnebago Tribal Police Department.
All righty. So yesterday, for those that don't know, here on the Winnebago Tribe, and we've been corresponding, there's also a big screen graphic in the middle of downtown, but it says public service announcement from the Child Support Enforcement Program. And it says the Winnebago Tribe Child Support Enforcement Program announced that effective January 1st, 2026, the Winnebago Tribal Police Department will begin executing civil warrants, including child support warrants. Previously, our law enforcement officers operated under the Bureau of Indian Affairs, or also known as BIA, and were restricted from executing civil warrants due to BIA policy and existing code of federal regulations. And then, since we assumed operations of the Winnebago tribes and they entered in the Self-Government Compact for law enforcement, these restrictions no longer apply. So as a result, tribal law enforcement officers are now authorized to serve civil warrants issued through the Winnebago Tribal Court. So if you have any questions, and we do have some questions here, but kind of give us the background on that. You know, what's the Child Support Enforcement Office do?
We collect child support and process child support. We find non-custodial parents. We also want to get away from calling them non-custodial parents. We're in the process of change here. Within this fiscal year, hopefully it'll all get done by the end of the fiscal year, but we want to change that because non-custodial parent puts a stigma on the parent that is not living in the home or doesn't have the child full time. So, but we do that. We partner with the states of Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, our surrounding states basically to locate. We partner with other tribes as well to help us with our locate system. We locate the parents that are obligated to pay child support. And we also host community events once a month, and they're usually advertised on the big screen. We hang signs all over the place. We put up Facebook. We try to get it advertised as much as possible so we can invite the community to come and talk to us. We have an open door policy as well at our office. So if you have any questions, you have any concerns or anything, you can call us and come down at any time while we're at work. And we're there Monday to Friday, 8 to 4:30. And our mission is to help support the children, to help the parents financially support their children, because every parent has a duty to financially support their child. And so that's what we're here working for.
Thank you for that overview of your department. And then if there's any questions that come in, we have Bethany over here. She's monitoring YouTube and Facebook. So if you have any questions regarding this public service announcement about issuing warrants and stuff, so let's talk about that. Like, you know, it seems like on January 1st, 2026, you guys are just going to go around and start rounding people up, or what? Kind of run me through this. What's going to take place and stuff? How does this work?
So as far as that's concerned, you know, we don't have any plans to do any warrant roundups. And Oyate can speak more towards the number of child support warrants we have. Actually only about 11.
11.
Okay.
So we only have 11 warrants right now, but you know, there's still a lot of things that we're doing. But if you examine the tribal code, so that this falls under Title 12, and the part that's applicable to law enforcement is Article 5. So that kind of covers the contempt, and it's very minimal as far as law enforcement's involvement. So you know, basically what that does is a judge or a tribal court can issue an order of contempt and have that person a warrant issued for non-payment or for violation of the child support order, and that would issue a warrant where law enforcement would execute that warrant if we run into that person or we come in contact with that person. But you know, we don't have any plans right now for a roundup or anything like that. But it just gives the tribe the ability for self-governance, to be able to govern ourselves, and to have our officers serve that vital process within the tribal court system.
Thank you for that response. I do have some other questions here. It says, what happens when they get arrested, and where do they go to jail for a year? Is it a year, or like if you get arrested for child support outstanding balance, or what's the official title on that anyway? Would it just be
If they're
default in child support?
Yes, and they're found in contempt.
Okay.
There's actually a lot of steps that lead up to getting the warrant. So the warrant for their arrest is a total last resort.
Okay.
We don't want them to get a warrant. We want them to work with us. We want them to be able to pay their child support. So they have many, in our procedures, there's many chances for them to not get to that point. We don't want them to lose their licenses because we actually want them to work. We actually want them to earn money and provide for their child. So the warrant process is if they're completely ignoring, if they're, there are a lot of steps and they have a lot of procedures that they can follow through with before they even get to that point. So that is the total last resort of our enforcement policy, is to issue a warrant.
Yeah. And then here's another question, and we're taking these off of the social media posts and stuff, so appreciate those that are asking questions. And this is a good time. This is what Winnebago Talks is about. So Oyate, again, we say thank you for bringing this on up. And then also, you mentioned that you have 8 years, and child support itself in that office down at the Winnebago Tribal Court is down there. It's on the south side of town. And it's old by the Neola Walker building. And if you go kind of a little bit more south there, I don't know, is there an official name for that building where you guys are located? Or it's kind of like a tannish building, right? I go past it every day. So
it looks like a Quonset because it's all made of metal, but
Your offices are in there.
our offices are in there in the tribal court. So we're on the south end of the building.
Okay.
If you come to the tribal court and come to the window, just let them know you're there for child support, and they'll call us and we can come up and bring you back.
Okay. So here's my next question: is why did this happen now? You know, when I was in need of child support and stuff, you know, and I think you mentioned that in your PSA, you know, so that's pretty self-explanatory. The reason it's now is because we have the ability from the tribal law enforcement to issue civil warrants. Is that correct? Not
Correct.
In the BIA policy, they only did a certain
Criminal warrants.
warrants and stuff. So these are civil warrants that are going to take place. And anything to add to that, or and you guys are working together, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, and it says, is there help for fathers to succeed? Help them get their life together so they can? Is there like a re-entry program?
We do not have a current reentry program here. We did have a vocational, I'm pretty sure we have a up and running vocational program here that would help. We also have our GA assistants with the human services. There are resources for job search. There are resources for, we're really lucky, our tribe does, because we have transportation. They drop them off in Sioux City, they pick them up here. If you're gonna work at the casino, not all jobs at the casino require a license, a gaming license. Not all jobs require that, and our transportation is willing to pick you up and take you to work.
Wow. Yeah. So there's options there. There's services provided for, and contact you guys, because you guys can set up. Is there like payment plans, or is that something that's available?
Yes, there is. And if a parent that's court ordered to pay child support, if they're not able to, or they for any reason, if they're not able to pay that child support, if they lost their job, they got injured, or you know, the life circumstances happen, we understand that it's not always going to be the way, I guess, with having to pay child support. But talk to us, call us, let us know. If you move, call us, give us your new address. We're willing to work with anybody. We're willing to help you. We're willing to talk to you. If you need a modification, regardless if it's in the state, if it's within one of the states, we're there. We can help you navigate that change if the order is too much for your income at that time. We're here to help, not just to make you pay child support. We're here to help you. So, and advocate for you, because you know, we want that. We want you to be able to be in a good place supporting your children. That's our goal, is to support your children. So, and that's what I wanted to reiterate too, like, any changes, come see us, come talk to us. We're not gonna judge you. Also, I want to make it known that, and I said this before, but getting a warrant and issuing a warrant, that's last resort. We don't want that. We want you to work with us.
Yeah, that makes sense. And is there any questions that are coming in or anything like that? Or
No, not that I've seen come
do you
through.
have any questions?
No, I think you guys are being very thorough with your explanations and the processes and stuff. So, yeah,
For sure.
covering all the bases.
So I guess when let's see here, like the process, if somebody wanted to put child support on the mother or the father or the parents or whatever it may be and stuff, they come see you for that as well. So you help with collecting, and then you also help with kind of getting that set up.
Establishing child support, establishing paternity, that goes hand in hand. We got to establish paternity on the child before we order somebody to pay child support, of course.
Yeah.
So yes, they can come in and start the process. If they have an open case already, they can come and update their information. All of that is part of paying child support.
I have a question, and you don't have to answer it and stuff, but like in Winnebago, how much in dollars is child support owed?
Right now, we are a little over $2 million in arrears, meaning we have $2 million of unpaid child support
Wow.
right now.
Wow. And then Jeremiah, you on the law enforcement side and stuff, and, making parents responsible. As you know, there's a lot of things happening in, just the country itself. SNAP might not be available, and food and inflation and all this and that and stuff. But the main core of this is to make sure that the child is provided for. We don't want no child, especially Winnebago children or any children and stuff. They always say every child matters. Mm-hmm. So make sure that, you work with them and stuff, But on the law enforcement side, how do you guys view this? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? I mean, is this going to, really kind of help? I know that Terry Medina, he helps with fatherhood is sacred, and then LaDonna helps with motherhood is sacred and stuff. But that title of those programs and stuff, I don't know if you guys work with him and stuff, but that right there, to be a parent is sacred in itself, and our children are sacred and stuff. So I think that the child support and the whole goal of this is to make sure our children are well provided for, food, resources and stuff, because they can't take care of themselves yet, So Jeremiah, I don't know if you had any insight or if you kind of want to
just
come in from your
some
perspective.
Just some thoughts from my perspective. Just like Oyate said, this is a last resort. And if you end up having to go to jail, and I think current tribal code allows for up to 6 months, doesn't mean you're going to sit for 6 months.
Yeah.
It just means that you could sit up to 6 months. That's allowable per each instance of contempt that is issued against you. But, from our perspective, there's a lot of, communication with the court is very important. Any arrangements that you can make. And if people noticed on that PSA, it says if you want to make arrangements, contact the child support office, ASAP. But, for those folks that go to jail, it's a big impact on that family, that their loved one or person that's going to jail is not able to work for a couple days while they're in jail. There may be some stigma associated with that, but, one of the things here in this area is there's lots of resources to help, and we can try to connect you with those as best we can. And, from our perspective, we also have to manage our jail population for more serious offenses. So, we don't, we have to manage that as best we can. And we'll definitely want to work directly with the courts in order to do that. But it's not beneficial to have people sitting in jail when they could be out. If all they do is just communicate with the courts to make arrangements or ask for modifications, ask for assistance, show that need. And, if possible, we can get you steered into whatever resources in order to not have you go to jail or sit in jail.
Yeah.
So that would be from our perspective.
Right. And we seen it during the ARPA distributions that some of the parents, because it's not all just fathers, and there's a lot of people that are coming out of the woodworks, and majority of the time, I don't know what the percentage is and stuff like that, but there are cases of mothers being ordered for child support, but they didn't apply because they have a vendetta against the other parent, if it's the mother or it's the father, they're just going to take that and they're going to go do something, or they're going to buy something for themselves and all this and that, What do you say to those parents that are sitting out there I'm not going to go pay my child support because it's not going to go to the child?
Or they say, I'm not going to pay child support because I don't even get to see my child.
Right.
So those were two of the biggest complaints when we did this. But you have to remember that the parent that is full-time responsible for your child, they're putting a roof over your child, they're clothing your child, they're feeding your child or children, they're meeting their needs every single day. So sacrificing for that child, that's what the parent that has the child full time, they're sacrificing for the parent. So they shouldn't see it as money that it's going to go to the parent. This is money that's going to help alleviate the stress of that parent who has this child full time. And in turn, that makes a happier child because they're able to go out to eat. They're able to get some new shoes, or, you know, they're able to feel happy with their parent not being stressed out at that time.
Especially in this day and age and
Yes.
stuff, the times that we are living in now, you know, and you go back to our teachings and upbringing and stuff, and it says it takes a village to raise a child, and, you know, that the childs were and the elderly were provided for and stuff, you know, and then when we come to this new way of America, kind of the capitalism, and, you know, everybody is grabbing for the most money that's possible and everything too, but at the same time, we have to remember those traditional values and stuff, and that we have to take care of our younger generation, because they are the next parents. They are the next generation of leaders, chief of police, you know, directors of child support and everything too. So I want to say thank you guys for bringing this information up and answering the questions that we have here. Again, you guys are located down there by the fire department across the senior center, and that's where your guys' office are. So if you guys have any questions, or if they wanted to find out if they have an active warrant or not and stuff, you know, those are they online right now, or is there any way?
They won't be online, but on January 1st, when we move forward with this new policy, they will be posted online.
Okay.
So come see us, talk to us, call us, email us, get a hold of us.
Okay.
So you can get this taken care of
Okay.
before your name gets put out there for not paying your child support.
Yeah. Okay. So you give them a couple months here to make sure that it's realized. Holidays are coming just around the corner. Thanksgiving, everything too. So, man, this is good information. And Jeremiah, again, come up anytime. You know, your SORNA officers came up. You and Officer Barnes came up to introduce the program and everything. And here you are again. So I know that you're a busy guy, and I see you out in the community. You know, that's one thing that the other day you're at the football game, and you're down at the trunk or treat, you know, you and your other fellow officer doing a great job and stuff, you know. So the Winnebago Tribal Law Enforcement, how did the kind of to switch gears and stuff, we put out some promotion about the DEA prescription take back and stuff, and there was people kind of teasing around and stuff, but kind of what was that about?
So basically, the DEA take back was for if you had any unused or unwanted prescription medication, over-the-counter stuff that was in your medicine cabinets, that we'd take that for you. We would collect it in one big bulk, and then we'd turn it over to DEA to have them destroy it. So basically, it's just to get all that old unused medication out, so that, you know, heaven forbid, you know, kids get into it or anybody gets into it.
Right.
And you just don't know. I mean, so that was our goal, is to take all that from people that wanted to bring it down to us, and then we would be able to get that disposed of through DEA. So that's a program that they sponsor. It's just, you know, keeping that medication out of somebody's hands that, you know, we don't know if they would hurt themselves or, you know, take that. And so and a lot of people just don't know what to do with that old medication. They don't need it anymore. They don't take it anymore, and it's just sitting around. And then, of course, you know, you don't know who's going to get into it or what they're going to do with it. So, you know, just as a safety precaution, that was something that we were partnering with DEA to take all that back and have that destroyed.
That's a good program.
And it was supposed to be no questions asked, so anybody could have come down and drop off, and we're not going to take note of who's coming down, dropping off what. We just put it in a big collection box. We seal it up at the end of the initiative and then send it out to DEA, and they have a contract with the lab, and they destroy it. So
that's one thing that made mention is that the elders and stuff, they use prescription medication and stuff, but the younger generation, and, you know, you hear the rap stories, and I just want to single out rap because it's in rock and roll too and stuff, but they use that and they kind of crush it up and all this and that, you know, and they sell like those opiate tablets and stuff, hydrocodone, all this and that and stuff. So we want to get that. Those that might get tempted, you know, if you have somebody in your family or household, or maybe a visitor that comes over and has dinner, sees it in your medicine cabinet and stuff, and they OD and stuff, you know what I mean? So that's very important.
That's another thing that I do want to mention too, is that myself and Officer Barnes went down and met with the Winnebago Pharmacy, and we were able to partner with them, and the police department was able to access doses of Narcan. So all of our officers are carrying the naloxone, Narcan. So we have that available. So if we do come in contact with someone that may be having an overdose or anything, our officer is going to be able to administer that and provide that first responder treatment before the ambulance can get to them, so that each officer will have several doses available to them. They'll carry it on their person. So that's something that we partnered with the pharmacy with. So that's something that's available within the community that our officers will be carrying. We'll be also doing recurring training on that for administering those doses. So that's something that we did through BIA. So I've been through the training before on that.
Yeah.
It's something that we'll make sure that our some of our staff have it, some of them need it. So we'll just make sure that we're getting that training, but we do have that available for our officers to carry should we encounter somebody that may be in need, and we can help them right then and there.
Thank you for that information. I have one more question, and then we'll let you guys get going. What are you guys going to be for Halloween?
I told my grandson the same thing. I said, I'm a witch, like every day. That's my soul.
How about you?
Last year, I took my son trick-or-treating, and because of all the law enforcement gear that I have, I got a Call of Duty ghost mask from Amazon that came, and then I was able to just throw my regular stuff that I wear to the range, my tan plate carrier, my camouflage pants, and my tack boots and stuff. And I got so many comments from all the kids. And then last year my son was Peely Bone from Fortnite. So it was the half skeleton, half banana that he was. And I saw some kid actually wearing it at the trunk or treat, and I was able to say, hey, I know, I called him Peely Bone, and his mom's like, see, he knows who you are. Yeah, I know, because my son was that last year. So this year, I think he's like a phantom, and I bought him one of those inflatable T-Rex costumes. He wanted to keep playing in his costume, and he lost a little inflatable battery pack. So unfortunately, if nothing else, then I'll just rehash the ghost for Halloween. But I do want to let everybody know that we'll be out, probably extra officers on Halloween night. So we'll be patrolling in the community. I know I'm going to stagger my hours, so I'm able to come out and cover in the evening time, so that we have extra staff available. So if anybody, we'll be out there for the kids. If anybody has any problems or issues, please contact the department. We'll have folks that may be sitting stationary at, where there's large concentrations of trick-or-treaters out, just so that everybody's safe. And then of course, just make sure you're either carrying flashlights, or, the kids have some type of visibility so that we can see them, and we don't have any mishaps on Halloween nights.
Yeah, for sure. So we have two events here then we're going to talk about, but I'd like to invite you guys to the masquerade here this evening down at Whirling Thunder. Meal at 5 o'clock, followed by the kind of masquerade powwow and everything. We're going to help be the MCs for that. And then on Halloween night, October 31st, Winnebago Public Schools doing a trunk or treat up there. And so maybe if you guys want to set up your informational booth or anything like that. And there is a game that night. It's going to be a little chilly. Be a little chilly and stuff like that. So just make sure you dress for the occasion. But let's cheer on Go Big Blue. Let's cheer on them on to victory, as they're going to be taking on Red Cloud from South Dakota. And that's going to be the semi-playoff game starting at 7 p.m., right?
Yes.
I believe it's at 7 p.m. So, yeah. We'll see you guys there. Any shout outs or anything like that? If not, we'll let you guys get under your way.
Just a quick shout out, my bro John Long. He's out of Pine Ridge. He's
cool.
a Red Cloud alumni. So I just want to be able to rub it in his face when we beat him on Friday. So I'll definitely heckle him and some of my other bros that we've been able to beat across Indian country.
Yeah, that's cool. Good shout out there. So Oyate and Jeremiah, Winnebago Law Enforcement, and Oyate with the Child Support Program.
Real quick, Garan, Oyate, you guys are having a bake sale Is that
Yes,
correct?
tomorrow.
Do you want to tell us about that real quick?
Oh, dang, good point.
I've seen that.
We're doing a elderly tree. The tribal court is, so we've all been fundraising for, you know how they do the, what is that tree called? The
Angel
The angel
tree.
tree.
angel tree. We want to do that for the elders because the elderly, or the elders, not elderly, sorry. We want to do that for them. So we're fundraising. Tomorrow's the bake sale.
Come on
Come
down.
buy some sweet treats.
What time does it start?
Actually,
know what
I
time?
got you. You got
Okay.
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
until
Oh.
sold out.
We're there. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. For real.
Come help out.
So is there anything like famous coming, banana bread or cupcakes or something like that that's world famous?
Come down and see what we
There you go.
have.
Come find out.
Come find out. Get your
For
sweet
serve.
tooth taken care of.
Yeah, for sure. And it's for a good cause.
And it's for the elders, so
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Oyate, for that and reminding that. We'll get that information on the big screen
Yes.
and out on the Big Voice Facebook page. All righty, you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
thank you for having us.
And then I do want to bring up that we do have, you mentioned it on Halloween Friday, the trunk or treat. We're going to do a costume contest. But in case you didn't know, there's going to be some little ones going around town on Friday, October 31st. And so we have trick or treat community-wide. It's a community-wide event, so all the little ones will be going around. So if you want to have your department or entity join and add it to the list, you can contact Educare at 402-878-4370, and they'll add you to the list. And this is going to be trick-or-treating for all the Educare little ones. And then to kind of piggyback off from what Garan was saying, we'll talk about the contest and some more details about that coming up. But we do have another special guest that is patiently waiting on standby.
Okay, yeah, and I was going to ask you about that. Is there an opportunity to hear her? Do we need a special cord for that?
Yeah, we need that little aux cord.
Okay, so you're going to grab that, but just to kind of interlude, I'll kind of make sure that there's a couple things I got to announce and stuff,
Okay.
and then we'll kind of go from there. But we'll need a little cord here to bring on our next guest. But in the meantime, if you have an opportunity, if you go to the Winnebago Tribes, WinnebagoTribe.com, there's a lot of good information out there. And just to recap, last Friday, folks, we had a special vote, and that was to approve the tribal adoption enrollment, and we appreciate that everybody that showed up for that. Just to recap, I believe there was over 130 that voted for that, and so the tribe was closed for that day. And you know, we at communications, we always try to take some feedback and anything that might help us get a better turnout when it comes to voting. And so we would like to have more voters for any vote. You know, there's pioneers, there's people that really fought for our right to vote, whatever it may be. And as a duty to your tribe or a duty to be an American citizen, you know, that's something that's very important. So if there's a kind of like a get out of vote initiative, we're not going to persuade you to vote for a certain candidate or anything like that. The main thing is we want to persuade you to exercise your voice, and that is utilizing your vote. So thank you to everybody that had a hand in making sure that that vote was, and the tribal council took that. And there's going to be some minutes in the Winnebago in the news regarding that special vote that took place. So if you guys have any questions on that, just let us know, and we'll make sure we'll get that utilized. As there's some more announcements and stuff that we wanted to make sure that we get out as well. If you go to the Winnebago Tribe, there is a place as condolences to all the mourners, you know, and there's been some questions about the wake and burial program, how to get a hold of them, how to utilize them. They do have a tab in the www.winnebagotribe.com. If you don't have Facebook, utilize that service. But if you do have Facebook, right on top, we pinned a post there, and it says the Wake and Burial Program. And appreciate David Russell, the Wake and Burial Director, but there's some information there for you if you need to call them 24/7. You know, if something happens and you need to get a hold of them or anything like that, just make sure you utilize that. A lot of times it seems like we go to the tribal council, and you know, I know that you know, sometimes it comes as a shock and we're distraught and stuff, but if you guys could relay that to family members and anybody watching this and stuff, if they ever need to get a hold of the Wake and Burial program, there is information on our website for that. So this, you could do a Google search, Winnebago Wake and Burial program. You'll see that number or that email, and you can utilize that. So with that being said, I believe we're going to try this here, and so bear with us, but is she on?
Yeah, I just gotta bring her in. And so
we'll give an opportunity for her to introduce herself, but this is going to be an online interview here that we're trying as our Big Voice Radio. Oh, okay. Looks like it's good to see her. And Lestina, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. We need to hear her. Is that right?
yes.
Can you hear me?
Righty. We heard her a little bit, but we're still kind of working, maybe kind of plugging in certain things and stuff, right? We could maybe hear her for the TV.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, Lestina, if you want to go ahead and give us your introduction. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. Good morning, everybody. Hahana Washte Mutakuyape. Today I'm here to talk about our Hoops for Life 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Before I do that, I work at the Nebraska Urban Indian Health Coalition in Omaha, Nebraska as the Project Upstream Youth Program Director. And I am also the project coordinator for Project Beacon, which addresses human trafficking in the American Indian and Alaska Native population. And I am just really excited to be here on the radio today.
Yes. And a couple years back, I was part of that. You had some celebrities show up for this event, and let's talk about a little bit about that. You know, tell us who, what, when, where, and how.
Okay. So on November 8th, we are...
If you can give us that information.
Okay. On November 8th...
She should, yeah.
We're going to be doing the 3-on-3 basketball tournament at North Star in North Omaha, Nebraska. And we are going to be hosting Tanya Joe Hall and Joel Wood for our halftime performers. During their performance, they're gonna share their humor, share their inspiration, and share their good medicine with Native youth and friends from the Omaha and surrounding communities area. And then we will end the halftime show with a round dance by them. And leading up to that, they will be available for a meet and greet or photo ops. And we're currently accepting online registrations for teams or individuals in grades 3 through 12. And we will also have open registration the day of the event, starting at 8 and closing at 9. This is to ensure that we can get our brackets completed. And we will have trophies and hoodies and free t-shirts, and we will be serving a meal that's being catered by Against the Current Catering, which is a Native-owned business. And we just hope to see everybody there, and we hope to have a good turnout. And if you're interested in being a community vendor or having like a having a table set up to get your information out, you can contact me by email, or you can call 402-889-6559 to get in touch with me so I can get you signed up.
We are trying to browse that flyer here, and if you can help us out, Lestina, where do we go? I know that, is it Project Upstream, right?
Yes, Project Upstream. And on the flyer, the address to North Star is there, 4242 North 49th Avenue in Omaha. It's off of Ames Street, and you will see like a big soccer field in front of the building.
Okay. And then it says, in addition, if you like to be a vendor, fill out the form below. And then this says that they're just requesting a donation item or two for a raffle. And then how do you get involved in the raffle?
So when you show up, you'll go to the registration table and they will give you a ticket, and you will need to hold on to that ticket. It's one per person. And during the halftime show, we will call out those numbers. And so far, we have gifts that have been donated by Pilcher's Indian Store, Durham Museum, Ted and Wally's Ice Cream, and let me. I know there was another community agency, um, Lauritzen Gardens. So they've all
Oh, okay.
donated day passes for people, and I think the Durham Museum invited 2 family 1-day passes for people to come out with their families, and they put on there that it's for the grandparents or the parents and up to 4 children.
And then this is going to start at 8 a.m., correct?
Yes, registration and the doors open at 8, and we typically get the game started at 10 o'clock.
Okay. All righty. And then, so it's a tournament, and then halfway through the tournament, that's when Tanya and Joel Wood will perform, right?
Yes.
Is there admissions or anything like that? Like if we wanted to go and watch some basketball games and then see the performance?
Nope. It's all free. It's a community event.
All righty. And then what's the kind of the mission behind this event here? Is it just to do like a gathering of native basketball players, and maybe tell about a little bit about Project Upstream?
Okay. Project Upstream is Nebraska Urban Indian House Coalition's youth program. What we offer is a healthy family night on Wednesdays. We can offer help with getting families resources. We offer tutoring. We can basically help you with whatever you need. We can do housing referrals, furniture referrals. We can help you to find assistance with utilities. We do backpack drives. We do STI testing. We do parties. We do round dances. We do regalia workshops. We do ribbon skirt making. We do everything that we can to try to promote like a culture of positivity and a culture where it's preventative of like addiction, substance abuse, alcoholism, prevention and awareness, and just anything or any one of those social ills that kind of plague Indian country. We try to work to bring education and awareness to those issues, but also to provide a positive, safe space where kids can come and they can enjoy a meal every Wednesday night with us. And this Wednesday, we're going to be heading to a Bellevue Berry Farm.
Oh, wow. That is cool. I have yet to go to a pumpkin patch and stuff, but
Right, yeah.
we want to make sure that we get that in under our belt for the Halloween season, or the fall season, I guess I should say. But and then anybody can join, or is it certain criteria,
No.
tribal members, anything like that?
We just ask that the youth that join be ages 0 to 24, and their parent, guardian, or caretaker can join them. It's not only open to Native youth; it's open to all youth.
Okay.
And in this way, we promote, like, if kids have friends that are non-natives and they want to come along, then they can come here and hang out.
Nice. All righty. And then this is down in Omaha, Nebraska. So we have a lot of relatives that live in the Omaha area. And then also, too, you're asking some of the drum groups that come for the round dances. They come by way from Winnebago or Sioux City or down Macy and stuff. They come down to Omaha. And they have a nice, I know that for the round dance for the organization, they're called Native Ribbons. And they did a really good round dance, and it was good to see you there, Lucina. And this past weekend, you were help supporting the one up there in South Sioux City for their masquerade and the Native Urban Center. So it's kind of cool that it's all coming together. And there's sometimes a stigma. They're like, "Hey, we're a reservation Indian," and then those are urban Indians. It shouldn't be that way.
No.
We're all in this event right here. It's called Hoops for Life. And as you know, the circle is very sacred and stuff. And I think that Tanya and Joel, they have a really good program that I heard about I have yet to see them, but I see like they're pretty famous on internet in the Powwow country. as you know, Northern Korea is probably one of the top drum groups in Powwow country itself and stuff. And then Tanya being a comedian, motivational speaker, and just a jingle dress dancer and doing a lot of good things. So I'm glad that you booked them, and they're going to be joining here and coming this way in Nebraska. I think they live out kind of northwest of here. But yeah, pretty exciting stuff, Lestina. And you yourself, you've been with the program for a while, huh?
Yes, I've been here at Nebraska Urban for 8 years, but I've worked for the youth program for 2 years.
Okay. All righty. And if you have any questions, it's Project Upstream. And then she does have an email. And you can also email us if you need to get a hold of us and stuff like that. Or need to get a hold of her, I should say. We can provide that contact information too. So, Lestina, did we miss anything?
Nope. No, I just want to say good job on that Urban Native Halloween party. That's always one of my favorites. I tend to travel back to the reses to go to cultural events, just because it's a little bit different than attending something in a city too. So sometimes I miss that, but that Urban Native Center, they always do such a wonderful job at bringing everybody in all the reservations and the cities of Sioux City, South Sioux, and North Sioux together for a big, wonderful event. It was a really beautiful event.
And then, Lestina, I know that you help out with fashion shows, and you yourself are kind of, you know, if there's somebody that has any questions about fashion shows and stuff, I'm going to say this on air here. It's one of our goals to try to have a fashion show, maybe Friday of last Bear Moon or something like that. Might put it on the books and stuff. But Gayla Whitewater is helping us out in the communications office too. So I kind of, you know, try to throw her a football and stuff and say, let's try it. You know what I mean? But there's a fashion show coming up. Do you know much about that?
Yeah, that's happening on Sunday. I will be walking in it. I'm having my daughter and one of her friends wear a couple of my ribbon skirts, and I completed Healing Ribbon's first fashion show cohort class, and I began making a dentilium cape. But when I walked in their first fashion show, it wasn't completed, but now after a few years, it's finally done. So I plan on modeling the whole finished product.
Nice. That is cool. Really cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's seamstress out there, that artists and people, we have a certain fashion that I noticed when I was in high school or when I was in grade school, all that kind of growing up, you didn't really wear your ribbon skirts and stuff. But now it's kind of like, I love it. I just love it. You know, and the guys wear the ribbon shirts, and it is really cool, man. So just keep up the good work to all the artists out there. You know, the fashion, even the models, you know, that we need more of those and stuff. I know that Sioux Falls has a great one, and it's all my relations festival that they take place at the Levitt stage there. And Lestina was part of that. I seen you on the stage, look great and everything too. So there's the fashion show design. And Healing Ribbons, they always put on a great show as far as this fashion show. I think it's the second one. And then they do that round dance, and it's just growing. All this things that the ladies are doing down there, and the seamstress, and even the partnership between these programs and stuff is growing, and that's what we like to see. So thank you for being on here today, Lestina. We appreciate you, and we look forward to promoting this wonderful event, Hoops of Life, that's going to be taking place Saturday, November 8th at North Star in Omaha, Nebraska. Registration is going to start at 8 a.m. Tournaments and basketball tip-off are going to start around 10 o'clock, and we'll kind of go from there. So any questions there, Bethany?
No, but thank you, Lestina, for bearing with us while I got that all situated, and we appreciate you joining us.
Yep, no problem. And I encourage anybody too who ever thinks about being a fashion model to apply to those shows, because representation does matter, and we are all so beautiful in our own tribal identities and our own tribal features. So I just encourage anybody who thinks they can't do it to just apply, because I'm big on representation. I mean, we've had to watch other people play us in movies and all that other stuff. So I encourage anybody who thinks about it to give it a shot.
Nice words there from Lestina Saul, and with the Project Upstream and Nebraska Urban Indian Health Coalition. Thank you and you guys have a good Halloween, Lastina.
Thank you. You too. Doksha.
All right. Okay, so we are at that point. We got the last 10 minutes here. Which
Okay.
direction are we going to head into?
I have quite a few announcement things lined up over here. If you want to allow me a little moment.
Yeah, so we have to get our calendars. Is that what we're going to do, or what are we doing?
Yeah, we do need
all
our
right.
calendars.
Let's do it.
So we're gonna start out with what we talked about earlier, and so we kind of sent out that open invitation. If you had not seen the original posting or heard discussions about it, there's going to be a masquerade powwow here in Winnebago this evening,
I got
Tuesday,
one question.
October 28th.
Yeah. How much does it cost to get in?
Free 99.
Keep going.
It's going to start at 5 with the dinner. The grand entry will begin at 6:30 p.m. They'll have the age categories there. They'll have a couple categories of funniest, scariest. I was teasing my brother last night. I was like, sacredest. No, but the big voice will be there on MCs, Master of Ceremonies. We'll have the host drum, New Breed, arena director, Les Painter. This is going to be at the Whirling Thunder Wellness Center Gymnasium here in Winnebago. And so if you have any questions, you can give them a call at 402-745-3950.
Right on. Looking forward to it.
I am too. And then the next one I wanted to talk about was just a quick PSA. And I was thinking maybe we could invite the Winnebago Tribe's food distribution to come on to maybe talk about this with us. But the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska's food distribution put out a public service announcement, and this is a possible SNAP disruption due to government shutdown. Food distribution program applications are being accepted. So if you want more information, you can give them a call at 833-568-5989. And so more to come on that, but that costume contest that we were going to announce, and that's for the Friday football game on Halloween Day. So we'll have a halftime costume contest taking place during the Winnebago versus Makbialuta, and it's going to be open to grades 9 through 12. That'll be the first category.
This is debut information.
It is, yes. Second category is going to be 18 plus.
And
2 categories.
How come we're not doing Tiny Tots?
Because we're going to be taking part in the trunk or treat and getting all them little ones all sugared up.
Yeah. And not only that, it's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah.
So we didn't want the 0 to, what was the age?
It was 0 to 6.
No. It
Or
was,
0 to 12.
Yeah. Because it's high schoolers.
Yep. 0 to 12. And
well, I should say kindergarten all the way up to
8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah.
K
through 8.
Through 8.
Preschool. We can't exclude anybody. Preschool.
Educate.
Early Head Start.
Yeah.
All of it.
Those that can't even walk yet, you know what I mean? But they will get something.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But for the high schoolers and for the adults, there's going to be an actual contest.
Yes.
All right. Tell us the details.
So we're gonna have we'll have a grand prize
And Halloween night.
Halloween night.
Yeah.
It'll take place during the halftime, so kickoff's at 7 p.m. And so during halftime of that 7 p.m. game, we're gonna have everybody join us on that blue track right there in front of the bleachers.
Okay.
On the field.
Yeah.
I talked to Adam Tramner, the athletics director, and he advised us to use that space right there in front of the bleachers.
Nice.
And so with that, we do open this up to the Makbialuta crowd that's going to be coming as well.
Oh, there you go.
We're not going to exclude any of those,
Yeah.
but it is going to be exclusive to 9th through 12th. And then that's the first category. Second category is 18 plus. There's going to be 4 places for each category. And so there'll be a grand prize of a first place prize.
Yeah.
There'll be second place and then third and fourth.
Oh, okay. All righty. And sponsored by Big Voice Radio.
Yes, and the Winnebago Public Health Department.
So on Hallows Eve,
Yes.
make sure that you come best dressed and
Dressed
wear
to
your
impress.
costume. Yeah,
Yes.
wear your costume there, as that's going to be taking place during halftime. I know you guys are excited for that, man. It's going to be awesome. That is going to be awesome.
And might I add, we're going to actually utilize the crowd.
Oh, nice.
Some cheering.
Okay.
Crowd meter.
And the people that watch it online.
Yes, yep.
You know,
We'll have that live stream.
Over 1,500 views on that last game.
Yeah.
What was
believe
my
it.
goal? 1,000 per game.
1,000.
Man, you guys, thank you. thank you to all those that shared it. And if you can help us out, like share it with Red Cloud. We've been talking to the commentators and stuff, and they'll give we got expert analysis, those that played football, and they just know some of the things and stuff. And I told them, let's not try to make fun or tease or anything like that. Let's just try to give them some pointers so that they can come back and, do some good things. So
yes,
if they have an opportunity, go back and watch those live streams, and you'll see some good stuff taking place and some good words, words of encouragement, anything like that. Because more often than not, this is not NFL. This is not college and stuff, this is high school. And the point is to try to provide the education and opportunity for these athletes.
Yes.
And that's what we were on a mission to do. So again, over 1,500 people watched the last one, and hopefully we get 2,500. And this continues on, that's some good football. This is going to be, Omaha Nation came to town. That's who it was that last time you guys played football, right?
Yes.
Now we need to get volleyball up there. Volleyball is hovering around 300 and stuff, but my goal is 1,000. Anytime that we go on there with these live streams, 1,000 people would be great. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say the playoffs, and that's the graphic that the school posted. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. They got October 31st, 7 p.m. conference semifinals versus Makbialuta here in Winnebago.
Alrighty.
And then there was one on here that I had, the trunk or treat that they're going to have in front of in the parking lot.
5 to 7.
5 to 7. But lastly here, two things. So the first thing is there's the annual fall community cleanup, which is kicking off today. And so there's going to be 4 dumpsters provided free to the Winnebago tribal community at 208 Mercer Street behind Rise Up Nutrition. This is for the community cleanup. An update to make note of is household hazard waste collection notice, Tuesday, October 28th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. For those who would like to dispose, gotta bring that in a little bit, of accepted household hazard waste items, you'll need to call ahead of time to coordinate drop-off at their new office, 920 North Mission Drive. Call the main office, 402-878-4060, if you have any questions or would like to coordinate a drop-off. And so they do have a full list of what they can accept and what they cannot. They do have volunteer luncheons as well that will be served at 11:30 a.m. for both days at their new office location. And so I did invite them to come join us, but I know that with that they're super busy, so taking care of that fall community cleanup.
They said it has a mental health effect too, and physical health effect if you declutter.
Yep.
So just think about that, guys. Is
Definitely.
that good opportunity to even like us in our offices and stuff, we have a lot of wins kind of hanging around and stuff. Let's take them down there, guys. And I think we did that last year. Me and Kevin.
Okay, I was gonna say I did connect with her, so we have a plan with our new waste specialist.
Yeah.
Recycle specialist.
Is that what it is?
But lastly, you had me get this one queued up, and so I'll let you take it away.
Veterans Day Powwow. Save the date, Saturday, November 8th at 1 p.m. Whirlington Wellness Center. Is going to be a good time, and so make sure you come on down to honor all veterans, present and past. And that is going to be, I think we have a staff headman dancer. I talked to Gordon Rave, the commander, and also the VSO, the Veteran Service Officer for the Winnebago Tribe. He said he wanted to go with a younger head staff so that they know, these guys are kind of training to be the headband dancer, head lady dancer. So Patrick Burke, he's a fancy dancer. That's Bridget Galloway's son. He's still in high school, and he's also a part of the football team. But he's going to put on the bustles and lead our dances in that Saturday, November 8th. Our arena director, they're still looking for one, but our head woman dancer is going to be my daughter, Mimi Coons, Kamimila Wachiwimi, and she's going to dance fancy shawl. So we got a fancy feather dancer and a fancy shawl dancer. So it should be pretty good there, but they're going to help out with anything that the arena director wants to queue up or the veterans want to queue up and stuff. But head lady dancer is Mimi. Host drums, Grey Wolf, New Breed, and Halushka. Those are our 3 drums around here that are pretty active. I know that there's some other drums and stuff too, but Grey Wolf, New Breed, and Halushka are going to sing probably our veteran service songs. our veteran honor songs and kind of just take it from there. So there's going to be a blessing and a meal and 1 p.m. grand entry and just one grand entry.
Okay. Any questions, you can email gordon.rave@winnebagotribe.com. That's all I got.
All righty, we're gonna head into the joke of the day and the rant of the day. This is let's go with the rant because this one's been on my mind.
Yeah, go.
And it's horrible. I mean, it's just a horrible rant and stuff. I don't want to talk about this and stuff, but we have to.
Pull it off.
All right,
Band-Aid
man.
off.
This government shutdown. I know, man, because it's affecting, and I'm getting worried. You know, I'm starting to like literally get worried and stuff because there's the SNAP benefits. They said is not going to renew as of what is it, Saturday?
Yeah.
And there's people on one side of the fence that say, well, just have them get a job, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then there's other people. When it comes to us as native tribes, there is a treaty obligation. They call it trust responsibility. We signed these treaties with the United States federal government. And they took in exchange for some of our land or whatever it may be. You know, every tribe has its unique treaty. So we are not part of, you know what I mean? It's like we should be able to, you know, take them to court. I think there's probably some cases that are, you know, they're taking the federal government to court and stuff because they have to uphold those treaties. Those are ironclad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those our ancestors bled for those treaties and stuff, and we need to make sure that they uphold it. So federal government, man, come on now. Let's and I see it. You know, I've been watching the news. They're pointing the finger at each other. Come on, Democrats. They're holding up the government for hostage. And then the Republicans are like, come on, Democrats. You know, it's just like going back and forth and stuff, man. But in the meantime, you know, it's just like so bad because the SNAP benefits and there's going to be over, what did they say, millions of people. And we're in that category. There's a lot of relatives and stuff that by design. This is by design, whether it be boarding schools, whether it be, you know, just holding people back, you know, it on the reservation system. We're in a food desert. You know, it's safe to say that Winnebago tribe is in a food desert and stuff. We have to go up north to get our food. And, you know, it's just, man, they talk about food sovereignty, all this and that and stuff, and it's real. You know, we need to grow our own. We need to have our own grocery store and all this and that and stuff, you know what I mean? But it's just kind of my rant of the day. It's just like, all right, guys, what's a solution? What is a solution? Okay, I'm going to give you two of them. One is vote.
Yeah.
Make your voice heard. And then the other one, too, is like get some education. And there are people out there that are fighting for us. There's lawyers. That's where the battlefield is now. Those lawyers and in that tribal court and stuff to uphold these treaties and stuff, and everybody that's in school to do that. You know, whether you have an idea or whether you're just studying the books and stuff, keep that going. We encourage you as the Big Voice Radio. So I'm not going to rant and then trying to not offer a solution, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And that's with a couple of solutions and stuff. It's like, make sure, man, let's do it. But in the meantime, my rant of the day is the federal government, man. Come on, let's get it together.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to die. This morning, I judged a book by cover. I fault it, you know what I mean? They had an interview with this lady, and she was from like North Carolina or something like that. And the news anchor was like, we interviewed this lady, and she's not going to get SNAP benefits and stuff. And then they showed a picture of a non-native, but she was pretty... how do you say it? What's the political term? Like she was well fed.
Yeah.
You know, and immediately I thought, like, you know, she don't need SNAP, but she had cancer. She's taking steroids, you know, and I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. You know, she needs to, we are what we eat, and food is medicine. And that was the Winnebago Public Health Foundation's, you know, remember they did that food is medicine and stuff, and it's true.
Yes.
But yeah, she had her knee replacement, so she can't work, and then she's undergoing cancer treatments. And I was like, oh man, I felt bad because immediately my first thought was like, why would they show this lady and stuff? But there's more backstory to it. You come to native tribes, there's stories like that this freaking, you know. But then again too, at the same time, I kind of made light of it. There's people that kind of play the system, so that one saying that everybody knows, knows, 100 for 50 or 50 for 100. You know what I'm talking about, right? That's not going to be no more after November 1st. But at the same time, it's just my rant.
I'm going to follow up with it and add on to the solutions you offered with like the sovereignty part of it and being a sovereign nation. Like we have Ho Chunk farms and tribal farms, and they practice the food sovereignty and getting knowledgeable about how to sustain our own food and things like that. And so I fully agree with where you were going with that, and my contributions to the ranting part of it probably aren't that radio friendly, so I'm gonna just say that.
Let me get that beep button ready to roll.
So in that note, I do have a joke though.
Okay, yeah, let's change the subject. I do want to give a shout out though. I'm Darla McKee,
yes,
and thank you for your contributions to our show. Also, Robert Pilot, if you have an opportunity, Robert Pilot, he has a show up there in Minneapolis.
Yep.
And it's a really cool show. It's called Native Roots. And if you have an opportunity, man, check it out. We want to kind of get it, see if he can do some stuff with us and stuff. So
yes,
I'm glad that he's tuned down and says hello and stuff. So Robert, and I try to go up there as much as possible. My kids like to go to Mystic Lake and stuff, and do some swimming or shopping, Mall of America and all this and that. But they do have some wonderful program at the Minneapolis Indian Center.
Mm-hmm.
Some powwows. They have I think, what is that called? There's a grant up there that they have, and it's really cool because we were trying to get some ideas. They have a really cool kind of live stream production. I think it's called Sage or something like that, that they really do, and I've been noticing them too as well. So, but here we go with our joke of the day.
So my joke of the day today, wait, we gotta bring out that little guy. Bring out this little laugher video. Okay.
The knee slapper video.
The knee slapper video. So, guaranteed. Why can't a pirate finish the alphabet?
Why can't a pirate finish the alphabet?
Why cannot? Why can't a pirate finish the alphabet?
Why?
Because they tend to get lost at sea.
It is. That's a good tee moment. Knee slapper. Yeah, I had just to recap. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. It was good. Very kid friendly.
Was it?
Yeah.
The movie Trunk or Treat video.
Everything, yeah. Oh, that was awesome. The movie, I didn't get to partake in the Trunk or Treat. Gala held it down for us over at the Trunk or Treat, but I was doing the drive-in movie at the big screen, and I was so impressed with the turnout of the community members that came out and all the little ones. Everybody was dressed up. The line for whenever the food was ready to be handed out was like a very long line. It reminded me of when we did the community blast event for 4th of July. Very packed. So it was a good turnout, and we watched Hocus Pocus, and so they seemed to really enjoy that and wanted us to keep going. And when you're cleaning up and putting things away and all that, they wanted us to throw on K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, did they?
So I did briefly while we cleaned up. So.
There you go. That's awesome. Alrighty. Well, with that being said, you guys have a safe Halloween. It's going to be this Friday. We'll see you at the football game, and that's going to be kicking off 7 p.m. Trunk or Treat 5 to 7. And again, Chief Lone Wolf made mention, make sure that what are those called? Those neon or glow sticks or something?
Yeah, little glow sticks.
And then the parents that are driving and stuff, just keep in mind.
Yep.
There's, a lot of times I seen we did a masquerade there, and shout out to the Urban Native Center in Sioux City, Kenny Provost and Brandy Baker. The crew there, they did a phenomenal job, man. It was, and Terry Medina, he offered the prayer, and we had music by Standing Horse, and I provided a couple of the tracks, and I was MC for it. Mm-hmm. But it was really cool, man. It was a wonderful time, and one of the things that was relayed to me is that they had it for multiple years, but they came out of their own pocket to fund it, the first couple ones, and people gravitate to things that are positive. So the sponsors, NICC, there's a ship organization up there. There's a couple other, what do they call it? The DTSU, the Santee tribe. It's just like all these tribes came together to help fund that. And it was about the kids to have an imprint on them, making lasting memories and stuff. So I totally got behind that mission, man, and it was really, really cool. And while ran, it was only for a couple hours and stuff, and it's almost like you didn't want it to end. And every kid got something, and that's as far as it goes and stuff. You know what I mean? So good job to that crew there. I'm proud of them.
Okay.
And they do have a youth organization. So any of our Sioux City relatives that want to join that youth organization, they do a lot of good things. It's called War Party. I like it. And Kenny and Brandy, they kind of lead that organization. Very humble. That couple is very humble and stuff, but just helping our native urban youth grow up in that safe setting. There's a lot of things that came together. But my whole point of that is that one of the winners, they were wearing all black. So Halloween night, that scream mask, they wear all black and those ghosts, you know what I mean? So just be careful of those guys when they're driving around and stuff, or when you're driving around. So with that being said, you guys have a good rest of your day. We are Winnebago Talks on the Big Voice Radio, KWTN 100.9 FM, the official radio station of the Winnebago Tribe, broadcasting out of Allen, Nebraska. And hi, Zo.
Hi, Zo.